How's it going, everyone and fellow Helldivers? My name's Draelik, and today a legend is born. Or at least an attempt. Now you might be asking yourselves, what is this guy talking about? Well, to put it simply, I've fallen back in love with Helldivers. I've heard there's been a couple of good updates, and I couldn't remember the reason why I originally dropped the game, so I figured why not pick it back up. Pretty quickly I remembered this idea I had when the game first dropped. What if I could keep a singular Helldiver alive through every level of difficulty? Complete the main missions, extract, and repeat. From trivial to Helldive, no deaths. It seemed possible at the time, but I got away from the game before I could test it out. Now that I'm back, I plan to put this idea into action. First things first, I was nicely reminded that there's now a difficulty beyond Helldive called Super Helldive, so that's fun. So how does this challenge work? To start the challenge, each Helldiver will have 3 wheels of randomization, known as
the Wheels of Death.
As I was saying, the first wheel is that of the planets. You'll have to keep up to date with them as they're always changing, but in general, it's only 3 to 5 changes a day, so it's not a big deal. Personally, I'm just using wheelofnames.com to generate the wheels. After completing a mission successfully, you do not need to remove the planet from your wheel. The same cannot be said about the difficulties. The second wheel is just that, the difficulties. Ranging from trivial all the way to super Helldive, when a difficulty is completed, that difficulty is then removed from the wheel before spinning your next turn. If you happen to die, all the difficulties come back. The third and final wheel is the missions wheel. For the majority of the run, it will be numbered 1 to 3. For medium and challenging, it's 1 to 2, and trivial and easy, it doesn't matter because there's only one mission available. There are certain missions that are significantly harder than others, so I think this kind of adds an extra tier to the challenge. Now other rules to follow for this challenge. I've set these rules for myself, but if you want to follow along, this is what I'm going by. Rule number 1, this should be obvious, but no cheating of any kind. No glitching, no taking advantage of some weird exploit within the game. Simply play the game as it was intended. Number 2, if a Helldiver dies on the mission, the rest of the mission is null and void. You could land and explode in 2 seconds. Not that that ever happens.
A beautiful morning to kill some bots. The birds are chirping, the sun is shining, and you hear...
So once you die and you're back at the ship, you cannot play the mission you just played unless you miraculously roll the same 3 rolls. Make sure to reset the difficulty wheel and begin the new wipe. The same applies if your whole squad is trying to do the challenge, but if you're the only one within your squad doing the challenge and they die but you don't, that's fine. Number 3 is probably my most controversial rule. It's no vehicles and mech suits. I want people just getting into the game to have the same opportunity as everyone else, and since you can't unlock it until level 25, I think it's just kind of makes sense to not have it in the challenge. I think it slightly takes away from the challenge itself, but I could be wrong. This is one rule I kind of teetered on whether I wanted it or not. I thought on it for a while, but if I do another challenge in the future that's similar, I'll definitely consider changing the rule. Number 4, you must extract. If you live all the way through the mission, you complete the main mission, but then you fail to extract, it doesn't count. You have to get on the ship and get out. And the missions you're doing are the main missions. The only missions you need to do are the orange main mission. Every other mission that's available is up to you, but to complete this challenge, you only need to do the orange one. This also means you can't join a game in progress. If you join a game in progress, it won't count. You have to start it at the beginning and finish it all the way through. This is kind of like an honorable mention. You don't necessarily have to follow this, but this is what I've always been doing. This kind of goes back to the wheel when you're choosing your missions. When you select the missions to pick, aim for one that's a clear 1, 2, and 3. If there isn't a clear option of any of the choices you have with any of the sets, just top left is 1, below that will be 2, and then anything to the right is 3. This is something I kind of learned along the way. So in the beginning, I wasn't really sticking to it. Once I figured out that's what I wanted to do, that's what I did. So this one's kind of up to you. About halfway through my runs, I started doing this, so I can't make this an actual rule because I didn't follow it all the way through. And then, yeah, that's really it. That's all the rules I can think of as far as now. As far as stratagems go, other than the vehicles and the mech suits, everything's fair game. Everything's in a pretty good state right now with the most recent updates, so you can find success pretty much running anything. I want people to enjoy this challenge. I don't want to limit their creativity. I'm already doing that with the mech suit and vehicles, and I kind of feel bad about that. So that's it. The same goes for armor, loadouts, and boosters. You can literally use whatever you want. And it doesn't matter how many people you do the challenge with. You can do it solo, you can do it with a squad, you can start solo, and then end with a squad. It does not matter at all. I think there are challenges to both, and they each present unique obstacles to get past, so it's fine by me. Now at the end of this challenge, you may find yourself where most others have yet to venture. You've taken your battle-tested Helldiver time and time again into the depths of hell. Along the way, they had you questioning if you were witnessing a reincarnation of Doomguy or a space marine from Warhammer. Now they sit in your ship yearning for what's next, not realizing that a legend has already been born. And every legend has a name, so make sure you name that Helldiver. They've earned it. Well, now that that's out of the way, it's time to finally start this challenge. Wish me luck. I'm gonna need it. Finally, we've started this challenge. I've been warming up these past couple of days. Surely I'd do this in my first attempt. Knock it out of the park. A nice, short, and sweet video. Right? Right? And we started off with some solid rolls. We got Tarsh, so bots. Challenging, which should be a good warm-up for what's to come. And we get the second mission, a nice and solid 40-minute mission. Dope. And I already have my strategy unlocked. I'm taking the Vitality Enhancement to help in sketchy situations, Orbital Laser for bigger enemies, Cluster Bombs for ag clear, Autocannon to help with tankier enemies, and Autocannon Sentry just cuz. And just like that, Helldiver 1 starts the gauntlet. The mindset? Get in, get out, slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. No need to do anything crazy, just complete the mission. As I land, I quickly call in my autocannon, just like every good Helldiver. I then immediately seek out the mission at hand and head in that direction. Barely a minute into the challenge, I have my first contact with the bots. I take my newly acquired adjudicator and I start laying down some heat. I begin to feel low pressure as a ninja bot almost slices me in half with his chainsaw, but I maneuver out of the way like a cat, repositioning like a boss. I start to take some incoming fire. These bullets are hurting more than I remember. Okay, let's pause it right about here. How do we get here? 30 seconds ago, I was fine. Now it feels like I'm playing on Super Helldive. I'm on challenging, right? With little ammo, no drugs, a broken leg, things are not looking too good. I spent the last week training for this moment, and we're not even 3 minutes into this run. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run behind the tree, I'm gonna call in a resupply, and we'll figure it out from there. Alright?
Here we go!
Oh my god! Not even 3 minutes on the first run. 4th easiest level. What am I doing? It's okay. It's okay. I have to look at this as a learning lesson. I got overconfident, and I put myself in a bad situation. Let's regroup, re-roll, and start over. No way Helldiver 2 can be worse than Helldiver 1. First things first, I drop the newly acquired adjudicator and I pick up the old faithful counter sniper. Then I roll extreme because challenging was too easy. For the planets, we get Vernon Wells. And lastly, we roll the second mission again, which is an evacuate civilian mission. With the same stratagem loadout, we're ready to go. Let's do this again. Now going into this, I knew from past experience, extreme and up, solo play can be pretty difficult, and it can get hard pretty quick. So I have to be on my toes. As I land, I realize I picked the perfect spot, right in the middle of everything. In every direction, no matter where I'm looking, there's something shooting at me, so that's great. We're off to a hot start. With a bot drop getting called in, things are already getting pretty hectic. If I keep this pace, I might not make it to 2 minutes. But so far, so good. I call in a resupply, and for now, I'm holding the bots back. And after some bobbing and weaving, I actually take this outpost out. That has nothing to do with the mission. And as I'm leaving, I don't know if it was a misinput or if I was contemplating life, but I nearly dive into the landmines. But for once, luck was on my side and I came away unscathed. And as I run through the night, I stumble upon another outpost, and I figure at this point, why not? This outpost just seemed to have a little bit more enemies than the last one, and it was taking me a bit to make any kind of progress. Side note, I eat this missile like a champ. As I'm using the autocannon against this Hulk, I'm starting to realize that there may be better options because it's taken a hot minute to kill one of them. Or I'm just bad. It's probably just that. I'm bad. After I finally take out the Hulk, I'm starting to get swarmed. As I round the corner, I'm reminded that there are tanks. Tanks are a thing. I gotta use my last stim, and I really need a resupply. So now I have to find a safe place to do that. Easier said than done. It's not looking too good. One more bullet and I'm dead. Goosey goosey.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
I finally get a little bit of space and I take advantage of it. I call my resupply and an orbital to buy me some time. Just grab the resupply, stem up, and I'm fine. Or my orbital can destroy the fabricator and kill me in the process. Alright, Helldivers 3. Let's see what you got. We got hard, got crux, and mission 2, so we got bugs. And it's a 12-minute mission, so this could maybe possibly be the turnaround we needed. All I need to do is get rid of the bug's nest. I don't have to run far, it's right here. I'm not messing around, I call in an orbital right away. Hopefully this time it doesn't kill me. And if you haven't noticed by now, there's a pattern starting to emerge. I land, and within a minute, I'm in a shit show. At the beginning of this challenge, I thought the 12-minute missions were a blessing. I looked forward to them. Future me can tell you they are nothing but a curse and a death sentence. But the show must go on. I actually used my cluster bomb, and it turns out to be a good one. I'm starting to make some good progress, and then suddenly I'm shanked in the back like Vander.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah, at this point I don't even know what to say. I'm starting to think this might have been a mistake. Anyway, Helldivers 4, we roll medium, we got bots, and we get the second mission, just a normal 40-minute mission. The way things are going, I don't even know if medium is in my wheelhouse. Now originally, I was going to fast forward through this whole mission because it is medium, and not a whole lot happened. But I also haven't given any reason to suspect that I can even do that. But fast forwarding at Mock Jesus just does not look great. So yeah, you're gonna get some highlights of the mission. I'll be sure to upload any of the raw gameplay if there's any doubters or you just want to watch that instead. Either way, that works. And I don't know if you'll believe me when I say it, but medium was actually manageable. I even went out of my way for a couple outposts and tried getting all the loot on that map. And looking back, this was actually the mission I decided pretty much medium and below I was going to try and loot everything because I'm still in desperate need of super credits. I'll take everything I can get because I'm only level like 30 or 32 or whatever. I don't even know what I am. So I figured now is a good time as any. But yeah, I was not wrong. It was pretty boring in terms of actually fighting stuff. Besides the few outposts, there wasn't a whole lot. But I'm not complaining. I needed this mission. I needed medium. I needed this mission. I needed this planet. I needed it for my sanity. Feels like I've gone through 10 Helldivers already, but somehow this is only number 4. I did happen to do what seemed like the impossible. I completed the main missions. And with little resistance, I figured it was time to get off the planet before I pushed my luck. Anyway, I've been yapping long enough. As you can tell, I call in the extraction. I also call in a couple of kill streaks as I wait to be picked up. This extraction point was actually pretty nice compared to some others. It's high ground and it only has like 1 entry, so I was kind of chilling. And before I knew it, my ride arrives, and Helldiver 4 becomes the first to successfully complete the mission. Woo! Oh yeah! Look at this stance. This is a stance of a winner. All those guys before me, chumps. I got through the mission barely touched. Cue up that next mission already. I'm about to blow through this.